Brought to you by stationhousecoffee.com and inspireddisorder.com/audible.
What you manifest in your mind, you can bring to reality.
Train to Busan, not a new movie, came out in 2016. Zombie movie, Korean zombie movie, directed by Sang-ho Yeon. Sequel is supposed to be coming out. It's supposed to actually debut at Cannes Movie Theater, film festival. Man, my brain. I might be turning into a zombie in this episode, so beware. So the sequel's supposed to be coming out, Cannes Film Festival. I've heard of this movie many times, been brought up many times on many movie podcasts, so I finally decided to watch it. I think it's on Netflix, I believe. It's on one of the streaming platforms. And it's great, man. I mean, it's one thing for me. I mean, the South Korea puts out some quality movies, and I'm not a big zombie fan in particular. I mean, I enjoy some zombie movies. It's a fun genre that is always brings up new and interesting ways to describe and exhibit different parts of humanity. And this movie is no different. It's definitely action packed. It's a nonstop kind of a ride. You're basically following a dad and his daughter while they go to visit family. I'd say he's either going to visit his wife or his mom. I'm not sure, one of the two. But they're taking the train to go visit some family. And during that time, a zombie outbreak happens, and people on the train start getting infected. And now you have zombies on a train. And so it's a struggle for this group of people on the train to survive. And it's great, man. I mean, the zombies are the kind of fast-moving zombies. They have some interesting rules to them. If they can't see you, they don't attack. So they play around with that quite a bit, with that kind of rule and how they have to sneak past and survive and avoid these zombies. But yeah, it's great. And one of the things I loved, aside from it, there's some beautiful shots. The end of this movie, there's a beautiful shot of just a silhouette, and you see a body kind of tip over and fall. I don't want to spoil who that is or anything, but the shot itself is just beautiful. It's like in slow-mo. There's just some beautiful shots, especially for like a zombie movie. The thing I love the most is that if this movie would be, or if it had been made in the U.S., it would have completely changed. The lead character, in this version, right? Hopefully they don't remake it, because remakes are generally bullshit. And there's not a lot of dialogue in this, so even though it's subtitled, you're mostly watching action. There's not a whole lot of necessity. You're not reading a whole lot. So to remake it would just be studios wanting white people instead of Koreans. But if it were made into a U.S., if this were a traditional, American zombie movie, it would have taken place mostly at night. All of the attacks and things, they would be at night, because every time they use CG, it has to be at night. The main character wouldn't be as unlikable as this one is, and the lead character would be like the action hero, right? He'd probably be kind of a dick too, because that's part of the arc of the main character, is that he's unlikable and then kind of he's forced to change over the course of this film, because he's trying to survive and trying to take care of his kid. And it's just like, if this were an American-made thing, he would be like the action hero guy. It would be like Mark Wahlberg, and he'd be whispering to his daughter the whole time. But the action hero kind of guy in this movie is a side character. The lead character is just like your average whatever, and he's just a horrible person. He just doesn't care about his family. He's not really invested. He doesn't really give a shit that he's, with his kid. Like, the kid is just kind of allowed to go do whatever she wants in the kind of the beginning of this movie, before, the outbreak really hits hard. but yeah, thankfully it's not. So like it takes place during the day. The zombie, there's like moments where, because I mean the zombies already move fast, but there's scenes where these zombies are almost like waves, like just waves of zombies, either running at, like there's a scene where they're chasing after a train, and like one of them has like the was able to grab the handrail at the back, and they just start grabbing each other, and they're being dragged, this like horde of like 50 zombies just being dragged behind this train, and they're all just kind of piling up like ants almost, like ants can like almost form structures when enough of them pile together. Just amazing CG in this. The zombies are amazing. There's a scene where they're like trapped underneath a train that had been wrecked, and just like it really felt like old school, like Steven Spielberg almost, like practical effects. The lighting isn't just dark. Like that's the thing when I was watching this, is just how horrible this would have been if it were a standard US production. But yeah, it's amazing. I'm glad I watched it. I am highly looking forward to the sequel called Peninsula. It's supposed to come out August 6th. So any day now, I think it might get released. I don't know if it's supposed to be on like rental, or if it's if they have a contract with somebody to release on like Netflix or whatever. But highly looking forward to it. Apparently the sequel takes place 4 years later. So after the events of the initial outbreak, but same director, which I'm excited for. Same director, same writer, which the same writer director Sang-ho Yeon did the screenplay for this as well. I don't know how many actors, because not a lot of people survive this movie, which is also good. It's just great, man. It's also got, which is kind of weird. I don't know if this is a standard trope in Korean cinema. I haven't seen enough. But there's a homeless guy, right, that doesn't really speak. Looks like he's got PTSD from what's going on. He keeps like mentioning they're all dead, they're all dead. It seems like that character shows up in a lot of Korean films. It's like, I don't know. Maybe it's just the look of like a homeless Korean guy. Like, I swear Snowpiercer has like the electrician in Snowpiercer looks. It might be the same actor even. But very similar kind of looking guy, like homelessy, out of it kind of guy. I don't know. It seems like it could almost be like this thing that's a common staple in a lot of Korean cinema, and I could be completely wrong. But that's that's the feeling I got when I saw him. It's like, I feel like I've seen you in other movies, and maybe he's just acted in them. I don't know, but it's great. It's great. There's also the action hero guy is a coach of a baseball team. So you got a bunch of baseball players. So obviously baseball bats at some point get used. There's times where they have to go through the cars. They're trying to basically, well, they had to go save some people. Like some people got trapped in one of the restrooms in one of the cars, so they had to go back to try and save them. And it's really like, it's fighting, there's action moments, but then there's also moments where they have to be stealthy and trying to sneak around so the zombies don't see them. So it keeps you on the edge of your seat, and it's inventive. It's a lot more inventive than most zombie movies, where it's pretty standard, like battle scenes, hiding, maybe you get a little bit of like politics and kind of the worst parts of humanity, people stabbing each other. There's actually a scene in this movie where two groups who've been trying to survive kind of finally reunite, but the group that's kind of been held up in the single spot doesn't want to let group number 2 in because they're not sure if anybody's been infected. And then when they finally break through and are able to see that they're not infected, they force them to go into a cabin, basically like how it's very similar to how people in the U.S. how ICE treats immigrants, specifically brown immigrants, by putting them in cages. So it was almost like they hated each other, and they're like, okay, you're going to be quarantined off over here because we don't trust you. And then that decision ultimately leads to their end because some shit happens. But it's crazy, man. It's a crazy movie. I really loved how it ended. It is a bit long. I think it's like 2 hours. Yeah, almost 2 hours on the dot. But it's worth every minute of it. It didn't feel long at all. It's just a long ride of them trying to get to Busan, where apparently there's a safe spot. But yeah, check it out if you haven't. I made sure to watch it only because I'm looking forward to the sequel. And if I should even check out the sequel, I wanted to watch this one first, and I'm very much looking forward to the sequel, the next one, and whatever other movies this person does. I enjoyed it. Train to Busan, check it out. Be sure to check out our sponsors, Station House Coffee on Instagram and stationhousecoffee.com, and order yourself some small batch, single origin, premium coffee, brewed in Thetford Center, Vermont, and shipped directly to you. Order now, support small business, and get yourself some amazing premium coffee delivered directly to you. Go to stationhousecoffee.com and follow Station House Coffee on Instagram. Also, get 2 free audiobooks. Go through the link inspireddisorder.com/audible. Sign up. You get 2 free audiobooks plus 1 book a month if you continue your membership. Plus, Audible comes with many originals, guided wellness programs, news, and much, much more. Go sign up now for 2 free audiobooks by using my link inspireddisorder.com/audible, AUDIBLE. New episodes of The Ray Taylor Show come out every single day. Subscribe on IGTV, YouTube, and everywhere else podcasts are found. Binge the full week ad-free over at patreon.com/Inspired Disorder. Buy Ray Taylor Show merch over at inspireddisorder.com and follow at Ray Taylor Show on Instagram. Have a wonderful day, everybody. Peace out!